So the following statement does not apply to system of subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley. Now we are talking about, first we talked about the coming of the Europeans, and then we talked about certain policies, or we can say what is the interaction done by these Westerners. Then again the British expansionist policies. Okay, and at the same time now we are coming into the British policies, particularly in Indian, especially for expansionist policies itself only. That is subsidiary alliance. That is one system they brought. So what is does not apply to subsidiary system? That is what they are asking. To maintain a large standing army at the other's expense, to keep India safe from Napoleonic danger, to secure a fixed income for the company, to establish British paramountcy over Indian states. And now to understand subsidiary alliance system, it was brought by Wellesley. Again, don't confuse. It was brought by Richard Wellesley. There are two Wellesleys are there. One is Arthur Wellesley, other one is Richard Wellesley. So Richard Wellesley was the Governor General, Arthur Wellesley was the commander. He brought this. Why? Because he wanted to safeguard India from Napoleon. Napoleon was the French emperor. Still he had not become emperor. He became the French emperor in 1801, and he became, but he was at his peak in 1798-99. That is when the subsidiary alliance system was brought. So some of the Indian states want to negotiate with Napoleon to defeat Britishers. Okay, one such state was Mysore under Tipu Sultan. And now Britishers want to stop Indian states from negotiating with Napoleon. So how do you do that one? To control the Indian states. Control the Indian states. How do you control that one? Station army over here. So negotiate with them to station British army. So that is one example. To maintain large standing army at others' expense. So how do you station the army? By giving them certain incentives, like we will protect you from other attacks. So they induce like that one, but the overall agenda is that one, that is they have a ready army in that particular state if the state went against Britishers. So that is one thing. At the same time, I told you to safeguard India from Napoleonic danger. And at the same time, overall what happens? If you agree to safeguard, or if you are agreeing that your state will be safeguarded by army of other, particularly the outsider, you are giving up your sovereignty. You are giving up your self-respect. And if you are letting the state to determine the foreign policy, that you shouldn't have any negotiation with Napoleon over there, and that you are accepting the suzerainty or the paramountcy of Britishers over there. So that is also, that is to establish British paramountcy and to keep India safe from Napoleon, to maintain a large standing army at others' expense. So it was not applying. They did not want any secure or fixed income for the company. So answer option is C. Okay, that is, these are all concepts. Okay, these are all concepts, not just factuals over there. So when you understand the concept, that you can learn history better over there. Okay, so this is asked in 2018. Now we will see in detail subsidiary alliance system. I have explained the overall concept over there. Subsidiary alliance system, that is Richard Wellesley, 1798 to 1805. What is the objective? The same three objectives: maintain army at others' expense, to keep India safe from Napoleon, as well as to establish British supremacy over Indian states. That is British paramountcy over Indian states. And we understood how it can be established, because so when you look at the negotiation, look at the conditions of subsidiary alliance system, how it worked. First you station troops, negotiating with them, saying that one, that is we are going to protect you from foreign attacks. Now the Indian states will agree to that one. So we'll have a greater technology coming from the Britishers to protect us, station troops. Then provides, because when you are stationing troops, you have to provide certain kind of money to maintain to that particular troops. So provide subsidy amount to maintain. If not, you have to provide a territory. The territory revenue would be utilized for maintenance of those particular troops. Then again, a British resident or agent will be stationed in that particular place to maintain troops. And at the same time, they put a condition, there will be no Europeans in services. Whenever they signed any kind of treaties, Britishers, they always put one condition, that there should be no Europeans in services over there. And particularly they were meaning French over there. And no negotiation with the foreigners without the Governor General consultation. And who was the Governor General? Richard Wellesley. And the Britishers promised that we are not going to interfere in internal affairs. If you want to have any kind of negotiation with the foreigners, so you have to take consultation from Governor General. And particularly Britishers want to stop Indian states from having any kind of negotiation with Napoleon, who would become a foreigner to Indians. And non-interference in internal affairs as promised by Britishers. At the same time, they also said that one, while we have these troops, we will protect you from the third party attacks. We will protect you from third party attacks. And if any state violated this particular rules and regulation, there will be outright annexation. It means the rule will be taken over by the East India Company. It will come under the direct control of East India Company, and that is called as what? Subsidiary alliance system, which was brought by Richard Wellesley in 1798-99. And which are the states? Which states which signed this particular treaty? Look at this one. All the lists are there. Hyderabad is the first state. Hyderabad Nizam is the first state to sign, 1798. Then Mysore, Tanjavur, Awadh, Peshwa, Sindhya, Gaikwad, Berar, Holkar. I think most of the Maratha states we can talk about: Sindhya, Gaikwad, Berar, and Holkar. Like in Sindh province, 1839. And some of the Rajput states, like in Jaipur, Jodhpur, Macheri, Bandi. Then again, ruler of Bharatpur in 1818. These are all Rajput states. So you can ask for chronology also. You can ask for match the following also. So this are the states who signed subsidiary alliances system. Just go through that one for rapid revision. Hyderabad 1798, Mysore 1799, Tanjavur 1799, Awadh 1801, Peshwa 1802, Sindhya 1803 and 4, Gaikwad 1803, Berar 1803, Holkar 1818, Sindh 1839, and 1818 these Rajput states of Bharatpur, Bandi, Macheri, Jaipur, and Jodhpur. So when you sign the subsidiary alliance system, there will be no self-respect, there is no independence, and that is the reason Tipu Sultan refused to sign this particular alliance system. Okay. But Mysore later, under Wadiyars, they signed this particular treaty. Then again, with reference to educational institutions during the rule of Britishers, consider the following pairs. We are talking about British policy right now. Expansion is almost got over, and now we are coming into British policies. Okay. Now, institution and the founder. Sanskrit College at Banner, William Jones. We already talked about William Jones when we talked about ancient history. James Prinsep, William Jones, George Muller, Max Muller. We discussed about them. William Jones, founder editor of Asiatic Society of Bengal Journal. Okay. Then again, Calcutta Madrasa, Varanasi Singh. This is true. Sanskrit College Banaras was established by Jonathan Duncan, not by William Jones. Fort William College was established by Richard Wellesley. Both are brothers, okay, not Arthur Wellesley. Arthur Wellesley is the one who defeated Tipu Sultan in a battle, but the Governor General was Richard Wellesley, and the Arthur Wellesley is also the one who defeated Napoleon also later in battle in Waterloo. So this is wrong. This is wrong. So 2018 again, 1 and 2. 2 only, 1 and 3, 3 only. So what should be the answer? Answer should be 2. Okay, answer is 2. This is British policy educational institution they are asking about. Now we will see which educational institution. What is Fort William College? Again, look at this Fort William College. This question was again repeated. So this is in 2018, right? I will come to that one. It was established by Richard Wellesley for training of civil servants. For training of civil servants in India, the British civil servants in India. But it was opposed by Court of Directors. They did not want to train British civil servants in India. So it was moved to England. This college was moved to England, the Fort William College. Okay, look at this one, Fort William College in 2020. Fort William College in 2020. Same. He was asked, what is the question? Wellesley established the Fort William College in Calcutta because he was asked by Board of Directors at London to do so. He wanted to revive interest in Oriental learning in India. He wanted to provide William Carey and his associates with employment. He wanted to train British civilians for administrative purpose in India. Yes. Answer is D. You want to train British civilians for administrative purpose in India. Okay. So Fort William College. So this is about educational institutions we can say. So what is the educational institution, educational policy? But we talk about Macaulay's Minute and Charles Wood Dispatch, separate topic. But early educational institution about this William Jones and Asiatic Society of Bengal, Fort William College. We'll talk about everything. Now, first and foremost, 1781, they established Calcutta Madrasa by Varanasi Singh. So, why he established Calcutta Madrasa? Because Britishers were turning themselves into administrators in India, and they had to provide justice in India. And they did not want to interfere too much in Indian society, and they want to administer Indian society on the basis of Indian principles and Indian laws and Indian traditions. So, they want to learn about Indian laws, ancient Indian laws. And particularly during that point of time, the major ruling family was Mughals. So to learn about the Islamic laws, they established Calcutta Madrasa, Islamic law as well as and related subjects. Okay. And then again in 1791-92, they established Sanskrit College by Jonathan Duncan at Varanasi. Okay. Why? To study Hindu laws. By Jonathan Duncan to study Hindu laws, because they required both the laws to administer this particular in country, because Hindu population was the majority population. And these two colleges, these two institutions were established for regular supply of certain Indian people who know these particular laws, and they could educate Britishers in this particular laws too. That is supply of qualified Indians to help the administration of law. And which administration of? British administration of law. So they were becoming administrated, particularly in Bengal. So these are all part of Bengal provinces only, Varanasi. Okay, so then again, Calcutta Madrasa, Northwest province also. Okay, so that's 1791, 92, 1781, then in Calcutta Madrasa. Then again, Asiatic Society of Bengal, William Jones, okay, 1784. Okay, 1784. Then research on Indian and Oriental studies. Oriental means Eastern studies, Eastern philosophies, Eastern knowledge. Eastern means we can talk about India, Asia, Africa. So all these are together called as Oriental. Okay. Then again, Literary Society of Bombay. It is called as 1804, and that is by James Mackintosh, another list-down society to promote research on India. Okay. At the same time, renamed as the Asiatic Society of Mumbai. Okay, I think spelling is mistake. That is India. So in 2002, the Society, Literary Society of Bombay, was named as the Asiatic Society of Mumbai. Okay, these are some of the early institutions that was established by Britishers to run smoothly their administration. And then again, civil services, 1800, Fort William College. It was established by Richard Wellesley to train young recruits into civil services, but Court of Directors opposed that one. Court of Directors is the body, okay, some kind of an executive body for East India Company. There was Board of Control, and then Court of Directors, then company officials. So this is the structure of East India Company. It was created in 1784 Pitt's India Act. 1784 Pitt's India Act. Okay, Court of Directors. So they had some privileges that they could able to nominate their favorite persons to Indian civil service, which was one of the highest paid. They opposed it having in India having any kind of training institution, because they want to train civil servants according to British principles, not according to Indian principles, so that they would serve the mother country rather than Indian interest. So COD opposed it, so moved to England. And then of course, open competition was introduced in the 1853 Charter Act. Before that one, nomination by Court of Directors, nomination by Court of Directors, and before that, nomination. Okay, so complete exclusion of Indians from the higher post, it is always there. And there are two kinds of posts were there. Okay, there are two kinds of posts, that is covenanted, okay, and uncovenanted. Okay, and this was created by Cornwallis. These are higher posts, higher salary. Only Britishers will be there. Only British personnel will be there. These are lower posts, lower salary. Indians will be there. Okay, just to facilitate the entry of Indians into civil services, these two kind of civil services was established. That is called as covenanted and uncovenanted. And who nominates that one? That is the Court of Directors nominate this one. Okay, these are kind of a covenanted means established by the law of the company. Established by the law of the company, and that is called as covenanted, and another civil service called as uncovenanted. Okay, and what is the salary but Indians could get maximum in a year? That is 500 pounds per year was the limit. If any post that is giving beyond 500 pounds per year, and that is always reserved for Europeans, or we can say Britishers. Indians, the maximum salary they could earn is 500 pounds per year, and that was applied in every other branch, in army also, in police also, in judiciary also, wherever you go. Army, police and judiciary, that is applied that in every branch. So exclusion of Indians from the higher post, one of the unique features of civil services. And some civil services committees were there. Okay, we can talk about Islington Committee. Okay, I can talk about Lee Committee. Okay, you can talk about Aicheson Committee. Some civil services commission. I guess one more civil services reform we can talk about: statutory civil services. Statutory civil services brought in 1878 by Lytton. And what is the statutory civil services? That is 1/6 of the covenanted posts will be reserved for Indians of I family. For I caste Indians, for I family Indians. So covenanted posts, Indians were completely excluded. To facilitate the Indians into this particular post, so 1/6 of this particular post, around we can say 16% of the 18% of the post will be given to Indians of higher family through nomination. And who nominate? The Viceroy himself will nominate with his approval. Okay, Lytton will nominate that one. Okay, so that is to covenanted, but it was abolished in 1892. It was abolished in 1892. Okay, so again one more time I will write over here, statutory civil services. Okay, statutory civil service. Okay. So brought in 1878 by Lytton. Okay. To fill 1/6 of the post of covenanted post. And 1/6 of the post will reserved for whom? Indians of high standing, Indians of high families, and ultimately with the approval of Viceroy. Which was Lytton. But it was abolished in 1892. Because it goes against the open competition which was introduced in 1853. The open competition is there, but why do you want to bring nomination system? And that is the reason this statutory civil services was abolished. Okay, one of the reactionary policies of Lytton.